Welcome back everyone to another video, and today I am going over my WWE wrestling figure collection in 2024. Now if you're wondering why am I not in the ring setup right now, that is because I am completely redoing my action figure arena, and I've moved it around and stuff, and it is not currently ready to be filmed. But it's been a little bit, and I need to get this out because it's February. I need to hurry up and get it out. So, let's just go ahead and begin. We're not going to do any cuts, hopefully. So, let's just get started. First up, we have the Elite 64 main event Jey Uso. I added the, like a Rikishi, like a Jax Rikishi necklace and the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt arm to give him that sleeved look, and I think it looks really good. So there is main event Jey Uso. Up next we have this Jax suited body, and I just put a Wardlow head on there because it's abnormally tall, and so I felt like it fit as a suited body Wardlow. Up next we have the Elite 72, I believe, Becky Lynch. Just says the man. I don't remember where she wore this. She wore it a lot, but it's the Elite 72 Becky Lynch, and it's a decent figure. Up next we have the, I believe it was the Top Picks 2021 Drew McIntyre figure. I switched out his arms and gave him double jointed arms, and I gave him a black hand tape thing for some reason. Don't really know why. I just felt like doing that. So yeah, that's that. Next we have the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. I think this is some Top Picks wave. I honestly have no idea. I got it from a used bookstore. It didn't come in package, so I have no idea which Roman it is. It's just a Roman with a gold hand gauntlet and my custom painted Universal title, which is already outdated. Anyway, moving on. We got the Elite 93 Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. We have a gem in my collection that was recently added. I don't remember which wave this was, but this is like one of the Elite 20 something Dolph Ziggler's with a head swap. I swapped it from a screaming head to a smiling head, and I think it looks a whole lot better. But that is a gem in the collection. Up next, we have the Elite 79 Io Shirai, or Io Sky as she's called now. It's probably the best women's figure in my collection. It's very good. Muy bueno. Up next, this isn't really anybody. I just threw parts together, and this is what it came out to be. He has kind of a loose waist, which sucks, but it's the Matt Hardy, the Network Spotlight Matt Hardy legs with just a Daniel Bryan torso and basic CM Punk arms, Sami Zayn head scan, Hangman Adam Page bandana, and the Elite 91 Sami Zayn hat. I don't know, I just threw it together just because I thought it looked decent. Up next, we have the Elite 93 Seth Rollins with a head swap, and I ripped the sleeves off the jacket just because I don't like the rubber sleeves. It's awful. Up next, we have the Elite 73 Buddy Matthews, or Buddy Murphy. I switched out his boots. I think the red lines with the red and everything look good. Gave him one of the Ultimate Edition Batista elbow pads there. I think it looks really good. I switched out his knee pads for like the open back knee pads. And I switched out his arms with the Elite 84 Murphy. I forgot about that as well. Up next, we have the AEW Unmatched Series 2 Santana. and he is looking to the right really bad. Like, he literally looks like he's giving you a side eye. Like, that's just awful. But other than that, it's a good attire. I like the camo. I like the posability. The Puerto Rico flag thing on his glove is really cool. And the screaming head that it comes with is also much better. It's not looking off to the right, so. Up next, the Elite 85 Alistair or Malachi Black. It's really good. It's just the plain attire. If you look really closely, you can see the design. And I really like the spiky knee pad and spiky kick pad. I think that's really cool. Okay, so I went to go grab my tripod because my hand was hurting. I don't know why I didn't have my tripod up in the first place, but whatever, let's just move on. Up next, I have the Ultimate Edition 14 Jeff Hardy with a Elite 75 head swap, and he's also wearing the shirt that came with the Elite 75 Jeff Hardy figure. Up next, I'm kind of trying to work on seeing if I can make like an Elite Tommy Dreamer, although so far, as you may be able to tell, that's not really working out for me. So I'm going to have to just switch some parts around and see what I can do. That goes back here. I don't know what I'm doing. It's good enough. I'm going to lower my tripod a little bit. Whoop. Oh no, he fell. I'm not cutting it because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing all the editing and stuff, so I'm just not going to cut it. You're just going to watch me do this. Okay, moving on. We have the Unmatched Series, I think, 2 Wardlow. I think that's the figure that it is. Anyway, that's going right there. The Elite 70, I think it's 74, Pete Dunne. Let me back it up a little bit so you can actually see the figure. There you go. Elite 74 Pete Dunne. A really good figure in the collection. I'm very glad to have it. So, here's an attempt at a custom Will Ospreay. I think it turned out pretty good. It's got the like Triple H, well, more like Hunter Hearst Helmsley torso. Got it from the WrestleMania Bret Hart figure. And actually, well, I have it here. I know it's headless, but I'm working on making a custom Raven figure. So that's why I have that here. That abomination. The headless abomination. Anyway. Up next we have the Elite 64 Jimmy Uso. I painted the hair red. And I also painted a little bit of hair red on the Jey Uso back here. If I can grab it out. A little bit of red on the hair back there as well. Don't think I showed that off, but yep, I painted up the Usos' hair. Up next is another unfinished custom, my custom LA Knight. I know he was finished in previous videos, but I wanted to repaint it since it was chipping because I didn't add Mod Podge. And I've been way too busy and way too tired these last few weeks to redo it. Like, as you can see, the paint's all smudged there and it's kind of nasty and gross. So I'm having to redo that eventually, but for now, that's what I have. So hoping to have that done by the Royal Rumble so I could do a Fatal 4-Way predictions match, but I didn't, so I did the Royal Rumble match instead, which honestly I'm more satisfied with. Up next, I have this Chris Jericho with the AEW Ring exclusive Kenny Omega legs. I'm going to put those legs back on the Kenny Omega, put the normal legs back on Jericho sometime soon. But for now, that's what I have. Up next is the Elite 70, I think it's 74, Andrade. It's a really good figure. Like, it poses great. The only thing is, I kind of wish that they kept the torso from the NXT Elite. I think it might have been a ringside exclusive. I don't really know. But I wish they kept it on the with the Sin Cara torso instead of the Daniel Bryan torso. Anyway, up next we have the Unmatched Series 2 Ty Conti. Like, they even have the different shades of blonde on the hair. It's a pretty good figure, I will say. For a women's figure, it's a pretty good figure. Up next we have the Unmatched Series 2 Ortiz. I like this figure much more than his Unmatched Series 4. Mainly because it's not branded Inner Circle, but it also just looks more like Ortiz. No, don't focus on that. Anyway, there's the Unmatched Series 2 Ortiz. Oh. Up next, we have a custom, if I can get all the accessories back on, because they just fell off. A custom promo gear Stone Cold Steve Austin in jeans. He's got the microphone. He's got a can of beer. I like this custom figure a lot. It didn't take that much effort. Like, since he's wearing the shirt, like, literally you can see the AJ Styles tattoo, but, like, since he's wearing the shirt over it, it doesn't matter at all, so I didn't have to torso crack it or anything. It's a real simple custom, and I'm really happy with it. Up next is the Unmatched Series 1 Britt Baker. It's not the best Britt Baker figure, but it was the first Britt Baker figure, I'm pretty sure. It's not the best one, but it's alright. It's not a terrible figure, to say the least. I like the attire on it. The black and silver is pretty good. Up next, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 4 Shawn Michaels. I believe this is the... Now, I may be wrong because I'm not good at remembering things, but I think this is the Montreal Screwjob gear from when they took the title off of Bret Hart at the 1997 Survivor Series. 97, 98. I don't really know. I can't remember. We're just gonna move on. Up next, we have the Legends. I don't even know the numbers of the Legends series, but Legends Rey Mysterio. It's a good figure. It's got a ECW on the back of the mask. Really like that. Rey Mysterio is at the Super Bowl, so that's pretty interesting. Oh, so was Britt Baker. She was also at the Super Bowl with Bayley, Naomi, and Mercedes Moné. But that's not important. Up next, we have this basically another Jeff Hardy. It's kind of like a heel Jeff Hardy, like all black. Face is looking a little funky. Black sleeves and everything. I really like this Jeff Hardy. In fact, I like it more than the other Jeff Hardy. But, yep. Moving on, we have the Unmatched Series 4 John Silver. It's a very short and stubby figure. Like, literally, it's not very posable. Like, the knees don't bend great and stuff. Like, it's very stiff, is what I'm trying to say. It's a very stiff figure. But, it's decent. It looks like John Silver, or at least a cartoon version of John Silver. It's not like it's the true effects like WWE has, but it's pretty good. Up next, we have the Elite 81 Bianca Belair. I'd say this is a really good women's figure, probably either between this one or the Io Sky for being the best women's figure in my collection. It's very good. Although it doesn't really look like Bianca to me, and her hairline is extremely receding. But other than that, it's really good. Really, really good. Up next, we have the I don't even know what series, Macho Man Randy Savage. I think it's series 44. I lost the glasses, and so I just cut off a little mic thing right there and just shoved it in the hole where the glasses should be, because I have the Macho Man on commentary. If you notice in any of my videos, he's at the booth, always. But yeah, it's actually a decent figure. Like, I really like this figure. Up next is the Elite 67, Rey Mysterio. It's from his Halloween Havoc gear. It's a really good gear. I like it. It's a really good figure. I like it. It's just a middle-of-the-road figure. It's alright. Up next, we have the AEW Unrivaled Series 3 Orange Cassidy. It's a pretty good figure. Looks exactly like Orange. Like, it looks exactly like him. So, I think that's pretty cool. Like, the likeness and stuff to Orange Cassidy. And the cloth goods is also just wonderful. You love to see it. But, yeah, it's a good figure. Especially when you can keep all the accessories on it. Looks just stunning. Anyway, up next is a custom. I took the legs from a Build-A-Figure and put them on a Earl Hebner, because this figure was already broken to me. Like, the Earl Hebner's legs were broken and stuff, and so I just put them in there, have some like blue tack to keep it together. I got the idea from a W3A pick fed, like the pick fed W3A. I love it. It's probably my favorite referee. So I'm glad I have that now. Up next is the Elite 90, 91? No, it's 90. Elite 90, Randy Orton. This is my favorite Randy Orton gear. The red, white, and black. The RKO on the knee pads. Pretty sure it's supposed to say RKO right there, but it says Orton, which, I mean, isn't really a big complaint to me. So, it's a really good Orton figure. Up next, I would say, is a failed custom, because this is an attempt at a Zack Sabre Jr., but his legs are way too long, and also that's just kind of paint job. I don't really know what gears he wears, so I just tried. I probably should have looked him up, but still. I think I'm just going to use this for parts, but this is a poor attempt at a Zack Sabre Jr. Up next, we have a weird custom. I took a Shield Roman Reigns figure and just painted it pink and then scratched off some of it so it looked like a camo type design, and then put Sin Cara stuff on it. I don't really know what I was thinking. I just kind of threw something together. Up next, we have the Real American Hulk Hogan. I really like how this looks when he's holding this flag. This flag didn't come with the Hulk Hogan and stuff, and neither did the sunglasses. But I feel like this just represents Hulk Hogan perfectly. Like, it's just wonderful. I feel like I couldn't ask for a better Hulk Hogan figure, because this just looks perfect. So, yep, that's the Ultimate Edition 14 Hulk Hogan. I'm going to take the flag out so I can actually put him with the rest of the guys. Up next, we have the AEW Series 8 Unrivaled Series 1A Kenny Omega. The one where he's extremely pale. It's a good gear, but just the skin tone is just way off. It's ridiculous. Up next, we have a kind of a hybrid of two AEW figures, if I can get everything situated. The top half is the unmatched Series 4 MJF, and the bottom half is the unrivaled Series 2 MJF. I feel like it just works. I like it. That's my favorite MJF head scan. Although people say it's not good, it's my favorite. I think it just fits best. Anyway, here is the WWE Elite 19 Shawn Michaels figure. Very good. Love this figure. It's one of my earliest figures in my collection. And it still holds up as being one of my favorite figures. Up next, we have the Elite 91 Sami Zayn. It's a decent figure. I've seen people use this figure to make Briscoes customs, but I'm not skilled with decals or painting, so I wouldn't be able to do that, and I don't have heads for them, but still. It's a good figure, although the boots are a bit too tall, but still, that's not really a problem with me. Up next, we have a Austin Aries custom figure. It's pretty good. I'm probably going to make a more in-depth video on this for like a custom showcase video. Y'all probably forgot about that series because I did it for the LA Knight like 6 months ago and then never made a custom series again. But I'm probably going to do a custom figure showcase video soon. Here's the Unrivaled Series 4 Kenny Omega. One of the best figures in my collection. It's very good, very posable. The skin tone is much better and it looks a lot more like Kenny Omega. I like the hair and everything. It's just, when I think of Kenny Omega, either this or a Bullet Club Kenny Omega is what I imagine. Up next, we have another leader of the Bullet Club, former leader of the Bullet Club, AJ Styles, with double jointed arms from that Stone Cold custom I made. Very good. I like it. I switched his head with a 2016 basic, just because that's my favorite era of AJ Styles, is when he first came in and battled with John Cena and stuff. Up next is a custom Elite Jon Moxley. I took a Roman Reigns figure and torso cracked the Matt Hardy torso onto the Roman Reigns, put a shirt on him, put his vest on him, gave him double jointed arms, and I think it turned out really well. My lamp almost fell. That wouldn't be good. Anyway, it's very good. Up next, I have this headless Legends AJ Styles with a foot swap because I'm trying to make a Mike Bailey figure. I just don't know what I'm going to do for the head. If y'all have any suggestions on what I could do for the head of a Mike Bailey, let me know because I desperately need it. Up next is a custom Sandman made out of let's say John Cena head that I painted because I don't have a Jax Sandman head scan. Jax Sandman head scan. I don't know, it rhymed. Anyway, this is a SummerSlam 2018 Dean Ambrose. I hand painted the tattoos on the arm. I think it turned out pretty well. And it looks like Sandman to me. Like, whenever I see this, I think Sandman. So I feel like my job has been completed. Up next, we have the Elite 70, I think it's 79 Big E. It's a pretty decent figure. It's a little bulky, but I mean, Big E is a little bulky, but I mean, for figures, it's not a very good thing because that normally leads to a lack of articulation. But other than that, for a bigger figure, it's actually pretty good. Especially like the knees and the thigh swivel and stuff. It's very posable. But just the top half, like the shoulders and the arms and the torso, isn't as posable. But it's still good, I'd say. Up next, we have a custom Nick Gage figure. Last year, I showed off this custom, I'm pretty sure, and it still had a bulky torso and didn't have the legs painted. But now this year, I have everything situated, and this is just a perfect Nick Gage for me. I probably will do a custom showcase on this one as well, and I'm kind of curious, since I have it right here, what this Jason Voorhees mask would look like on him. I really don't know why. It's not like he wears one. Okay, it's a little big. But I just wanted to see that anyway. But yeah, no, this figure is great. I love that figure. It's one of my favorite customs in my collection. Up next, we have the Elite 91 Kevin Owens with a boot swap. I swapped out the boots from a Bob Orton. I don't really care that it says Ace there. I kind of like it. Give me a second. Oh, never mind. The dogs shut up. That is wonderful. Anyway, up next is the Unmatched Series 4 Brody Lee. Probably the best big man figure I have in my collection. Is very posable, very good. If you want to do a big boot, it goes up real high, like without any effort. It's really easy. It's just a great figure. The only thing it lacks is like it doesn't really have a great ab bend, or else it just snaps really easy. But other than that, it's a great figure. Looks just like Brody Lee. I couldn't ask for anything more from a Brody Lee figure. Rest in peace. Speaking of rest in peace, on a more ironic note, we got The Undertaker. This is the ringside exclusive Undertaker, like Dead Man Inc. Undertaker. Swapped the head for the Greatest Hits Undertaker, the first Greatest Hits, and I think it just is perfect. Like, its legs are just buttery smooth, and honestly, I think he's better than the Brody Lee as a big man figure. I think I just lied to you, like, immediately, after I just caught myself in a lie, because that figure is just absolutely wonderful. Up next is the AEW Unrivaled Series 1A Nick Jackson, or as they're being called on TV, Nicholas Jackson. And Matthew Jackson should be somewhere in the pile there, and should come up shortly. But there is Nicholas Jackson. Should be getting to see him against Sting pretty soon. But anyway, up next is the AEW Unrivaled Series 7 Cash Wheeler. I cut off the sleeves of his jacket because, like I said, I hate rubber sleeves on jackets. So I cut it off. And this is probably my favorite FTR gear from when they won the championships, and it's great. This head actually looks like Cash Wheeler to me, so I'm not complaining. My biggest complaint is just that the Dax Harwood. Up next is the Walmart exclusive AEW Unrivaled CM Punk. This is probably, other than the Supreme, this is probably the best CM Punk figure. I added the Mattel hands because I prefer the red X, and I added a white elbow pad, and it just made the figure so much better in my opinion. I love it. And when it first came out, that was the best CM Punk of all time. But it's been a little while, so that's not true anymore. Now we have the AEW Unrivaled Series 7 Dax Harwood. If you know what Dax Harwood looks like, you know that's not it. That doesn't look like him at all. It's awful. The knee pads are way too wide because they just fall down to his ankles without even trying. And that's not what the knee pads are supposed to do. They're supposed to stay at your knee. I cut off the sleeves for him and gave him an Ultimate Edition Batista elbow pad just because I liked how it looked on him. Up next. Okay, there we go. The Ultimate Edition Series 5 John Cena, but I put the accessories from the Elite 95 John Cena on there. Looks pretty good to me. I switched out his feet with a basic John Cena because the Elite John Cena feet, they don't bend. They do bend. They're way too bendy. Loose, not bendy. Loose. Just gotta gather my thoughts. I'll get there eventually. But they're way too loose, so I had to switch them out. Up next is the Legends Series, I think Legends Series 17 Kane. Probably the best Kane. I gotta cut it before it cuts itself and deletes the video, so be right back. Okay, we back. I just had to delete some videos I didn't need on my phone. Anyway, up next is the Elite 77 Bray Wyatt with a head swap and arm swap. And I think it turned out really good. I really like this. The 2014 Bray Wyatt was like when the Wyatt family first started in the final days of the Scratch logo era was my favorite version of Bray Wyatt. And so I kind of wanted to replicate something of that in a figure form. And I think I did a great job with this custom, or I guess fix-up, per se. I think it looks great, personally. Up next, we kind of have this Bryan Danielson custom here. It's the Elite 73 Bryan Danielson with a Elite 79 head, some basic knees. I switched out the calves and painted them white like the socks or whatever, and he has dragon boots. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it, so that's all that matters to me. Oh, do not knock over the tripod. That would not be very good. Anyway, up next we have Matthew Jackson of the Young Bucks from AEW Unrivaled Series 1. I feel like this is the best Matt Jackson head scan they've ever made. It's very good and it looks just like him. Up next, one of my favorite figures in my collection is somebody who doesn't exist. So yeah, this guy doesn't exist. So let's just move on. Next we have the Ultimate Edition Series 8 Edge, or Adam Copeland. I gave him the TNT title in kind of like a leather jacket type thing. I also painted his chest with some hair. Honestly, I may need to see what I can do about that, because it doesn't really look like hair, but we'll just see about that if it ever becomes important. Up next, the Elite 82 Finn Balor with the head swap and kick pad swap and knee swap. I've kind of ruined this figure, but we'll see if I can fix it. I just need a better Finn Balor head, and then I can probably do something with that. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, up next, AEW Unrivaled Series 4 Cody with the green and black, the won't back down. Looks like it's a Jacksonville Jaguars themed weight belt. The Elite on the white boots, both sides. It's a very good figure. One of my favorite AEW figures that I have. Up next is a Elite 72 Roderick Strong with a torso swap to give him that more ripped torso. I wish I had a spare Seth Rollins torso so I could give him the hair on the chest like he has now. But this still works for me. It looks great. I like it a lot more than that tiny Bryan Danielson torso. So, speaking of guys with big torsos, here's the Ultimate Target exclusive Batista without any elbow pads and with knee pad swaps. Although you can see that that knee pad there is damaged, so I'm going to see if I can paint that and make it look a bit better. It's a good figure. It's a really good, it's posable for that big torso. It's pretty posable. Next up, we have the Elite 78 Kofi Kingston with a arm swap from the Elite 75 Jeff Hardy. Now, this arm is a bit bigger than this arm, but I really don't care. I like how it looks, and so I'm going to keep it as is. It's a great Kofi Kingston figure. I'm very satisfied with it, so to me, that's all that matters. Up next is the Elite 92 Chase Adam Cole with the War Games gear. I really like it. I'm very satisfied with this figure. I cut the shirt a little bit so you can actually see the gear, although my cutting job was kind of eh. I also cut off the sleeves because he doesn't really wear sleeved shirts. He's got tiny little legs. I've never been able to replace him. If I ever found like a Bo Dallas or a William Regal, then I'd replace him. But so far, I'm just keeping him the same. Up next is the Elite 82 Dusty Rhodes. This is probably my least favorite figure in my collection. But if it comes to like display-wise, it's a great figure to display. Looks great, looks wonderful, has all the doodads and stuff. You can see the red dots on the gear. Looks just like Dusty. It's great. But just posability-wise, you can't even like... If I can move this out of the way because I'm not taking it off. It literally feels like it's gonna break if you bend the leg. It sucks. Like, honestly, this may be worse than like a Mark Henry figure. But for display purposes only, it's great. Couldn't ask for anything better. Up next is the Elite 64 Kurt Hawkins. Great figure in my opinion. Really like it. Looks just like Kurt Hawkins, or I guess Brian Myers as he's called in TNA. Up next we have the Unrivaled Series 2 Rey Fenix. Great looking figure. Although he's a little too tall, but still that's not really too much of a problem with me. It's not like I'm going to lose any sleep over it, so. Now, up next, we have the Elite 82 Keith Lee with a boot swap. I gave him the Kevin Owens boots from the Kevin Owens figure I showed y'all earlier, just because I really like the blue shoestrings for the Keith Lee. Really liked that, so I gave him those. Up next, we have the Elite 80. Don't fall. Okay, it's going to fall. Anyway, up next, we have the Elite 80 Kyle O'Reilly. What is going on? Why is this falling? We are experiencing some technical difficulties. There we go. The Elite 80 Kyle O'Reilly. One of my favorite figures, especially when I first got it. When I first got it, it was wonderful. It was probably my top 5 favorite figures. It's a great figure. Super underrated. Never hear anyone talk about that Kyle O'Reilly. Up next, we have the Blood and Guts Cody Rhodes. Very good figure. Very bueno, if I do say so myself. It even has the handprint on the dream right there, which, I mean, is a little exaggerated, honestly. Like, if I was pick fetting with this, the only way I'd use that torso is if someone, like, gouged out his eyes and then chopped him or something, but still. It's a good figure nonetheless. Up next, we have this weird Miro hybrid thing, because he has Jack's Kurt Angle boots, Jack's knee pads, but it's the Then Now Forever Elite Rusev with interchangeable hands and a Unrivaled Series 10 Miro head scan. So it's literally every company, Jazzwares, Mattel, and Jack's, all in one figure. And it's actually not that bad. I feel like it's a pretty good figure. It's a usable Miro figure. I like it. Up next, we have the AEW Unrivaled Series 2 Hangman Adam Page, or kinda, because it's one of those bottom half is Series 2, top half is Series 5 Hangman Adam Page, except the shoes here are the Series 5, because the Series 2 came with literally clown feet. They were ridiculously large. Now up next we have the AEW Unrivaled Series 1A Cody Rhodes. It's basically the same figure as that, except not bloody and much lighter skin tone. I don't know if you can tell right there, but I kind of painted it to give it like that purple, and then I chipped it off because I realized that was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. But it looks fine. I don't think you can really tell, but also the lighting is kind of bad, so I don't think you'd be able to tell even if it was like super obvious. Next, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 9 Ric Flair. Very good cloth goods robe. Love the articulation. The butterfly joints were a little loose for this set, but it's still fine. It's not like I'm going to lose any sleep over it. Up next, the AEW Unrivaled Series 2 Pentagon Jr. to go with the Rey Fenix. No, I'm going to move this because I kind of need that middle spot to show off figures and I can't get too close. Up next, Elite 79 Bobby Fish. Pretty good figure. I wish they used that Undisputed Era 3-pack head scan because that is atrocious. Just... okay, it won't focus, but like if you can see that right there, that is atrocious. But anyway, it still works as a Bobby Fish. He did kind of do that face often. Up next is an Elite Braun Strowman. It's kind of a Franken Strowman, if I do say so myself, because he's got boots with kick pad feet, no hands, and no ponytail. I don't really use this figure. Like if you watch the channel and stuff, you'll notice that I haven't used that figure in years because I don't like it. It's not a good figure. It's one of those big man figures, and it's not good. And here's another not good figure, the AEW Unrivaled Series 2 Dustin Rhodes. Way too tall. Off the bat, way too tall. He does not tower over Cody like this. It's way too tall. And that's all I'm going to say on it. It's just way too tall. It doesn't pose around good. We're getting close to the end here. We have the AEW Unrivaled Series 9, I think, Powerhouse Hobbs. It's a pretty good figure. I've seen people use this for custom Taz figures, but I'm just going to leave it as Will Hobbs because I don't have a Taz head scan or anything. But it's good. I like it. It poses around pretty good. The legs are buttery smooth, although they don't go up that high. They're very smooth. So, there's the Powerhouse. I like the boots, and I like how it says Willpower on the boots. If you look closely, you can notice that. Up next, I have this, like, referee thing. Just a referee. Up next, I have this weird Tommaso Ciampa thing, because he's got legs with kick pads and instead of boots. But other than that, it's just Tommaso Ciampa. He's got, like, gold. And I gave him the Dax Harwood knee brace because I wanted Dax Harwood to have the functional knee brace instead of the whole mold, because this one doesn't really move. Like, you can bend it, but like it doesn't like bend at the little circle part like the Mattel ones do. Up next, we have the GameStop exclusive. I think it was the Retro Series. Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the singlet. It looks very good. I like the American flag detail on the back. Looks very, very good to me. The only thing that would be better is if it was actually in trunks, like what he actually wore. Up next is the Elite 89 Bobby Lashley. I like this figure. It says Hurt Business on it. It's very good. Pretty good Bobby Lashley. Up next is the last custom figure in this video. It is a custom Marty Scurll figure. I gave him the Cowboy Bob Orton hat, Bianca Belair glasses. I hand painted that design there, and I hand painted the villain on the back. I may do a custom showcase video on it eventually, but this is made from a Elite 79 Bryan Danielson with a Damien Sandow head scan. We have the Elite 82 John Morrison, Johnny Drip Drip right there. And I switched his feet out for the Elite Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt figure, just because I like that better, although this figure's torso is very loose. If I can actually show you in the light, it's very loose. But other than that, it's a good figure. And finally, we have the Elite 91 Rob Van Dam. Very good figure. poses around great. Probably in the top 5 of my collection. Says Van Damme on the boots, RVD on the back. Very good gear, tiger stripe gear. It's great. I love it. So I knew this was going to happen. I finished the video. I edited it. I uploaded it. And then I found another figure. And so I could either A, keep the inaccurate upload, or B, show off the final figure, Darby Allin. So, you see which one I chose. This is the AEW Ringside exclusive coffin drop Darby Allin. I really like the face paint and stuff on it, the tattoos and everything. I like how they even added the detail of the neon line and how they sculpted the boots. And finally, that is going to do it for today's video. I would like to thank you all for watching this incredibly long video, and I will see you all next time. Peace.